uh, Bloomberg business part. Parents are paying $50,000 for prep schools their kids might not attend. Some families are enrolling children in schools in different cities, unsure of how the COVID-19 pandemic will affect education, by Amanda L. Gordon and Janet Lorin, July 6, 2020. After fleeing New York for their second homes, some of the wealthiest families in the United States are paying to reserve spots in the city's elite schools, even though their children may not show up in the fall. One Upper East Side mom said she has paid full tuition more than $50,000 per child to Manhattan private schools for her kids, while also enrolling them in public school 2,000 miles away out west where the family is currently staying. Uh, USA Today, Nation. No COVID-19 resurgence in New York yet, officials say. But if you are at a protest, go get a test, please. David Robinson, New York State team, published July 6, 2020. So far, New York has dodged a COVID-19 surge following police brutality protest last month. But concerns remain that the massive rallies seeded clusters of outbreaks that could linger over coming weeks, experts said. While New York's COVID-19 infection rate steadily declined since thousands of demonstrators took to the streets daily after George Floyd death on May 25th, it remains unclear if there has been a coronavirus spread undetected among the mostly young people in the crowds. Uh, SealLive.com exclusive. Staten Island teacher wins prestigious Big Apple Award. Posted July 5th. Written by Annalise Knudsen, uh, Caroline Otterman, an elementary school teacher at PS26 in Travis, was one of the 19% recipients of this year's prestigious Big Apple Awards. The awards announced during the virtual Zoom meeting by New York City Schools Chancellor Richard Carranza celebrate the exemplary performance of public school teachers throughout the city that inspire students, model great teaching, and enrich school communities. Lowhall.com Coronavirus COVID-19 in New York. While large protests didn't spark a surge in case, and what's the next threat? Written by David Robinson, New York State team. Released on July 6, 2020. So far, New York has dodged a COVID-19 surge following police brutality protests last month, but concern remain that the massive rallies cited outbreak cluster that could linger over coming weeks, experts said. Mm, The New York Post, Metro, Frederick Douglass statue vandalized in upstate New York Park on anniversary of speech. A statue of abolitionist Frederick Douglass has been toppled and destroyed in upstate New York on the 168th anniversary of his most famous anti-slavery speech. Rochester police said the statue of the former slave was taken on Sunday from Maplewood Park, a site along the Underground Railroad where Douglass and Harriet Tubman helped shuttle slaves to freedom. It was found at the brink of the Genesee River Gorge about 50 feet away, and the damage to the base and left hand finger was deemed beyond repair, officials said. Uh, the New York Times, New York Today, New York City enters the phase 3, written by Miher Savary on July 6, 2020. Want to get, no, it's Monday. The Highline is reopening next week, and you will need a free timed entry pass to visit. They will be available starting Thursday. Weather sunny in the morning, but watch out for afternoon thunderstorm. High in the low 90s. Today life in New York City moves a little closer to what we might call normal. Welcome to phase 3. Broadly, that means the city once in an epicenter of one of the worst pandemics in modern history is continuing to loosen the restrictions put in place to contain the coronavirus. Expect to see the reopening of nail salons, massage centers, spa salons, tanning salons, and tattoo shops, and the return of low-risk youth sports. Don't expect to see the resumption of indoor dining, though. The entry into a new phase underscores the diverging narratives emerging across the country. While New York City is taking steps to reopen, other parts of the nation are finding that lifting restrictions can have a negative effects. Road to reopening. CBS New York. Phase 3 begins Monday in NYC with salons, dog parks, basketball courts among those to reopen, indoor dining not allowed. Eater, New York. NYC uh, restaurateurs, restaurateurs, restaurateurs spend thousands to comply with last-minute outdoor dining rule changes. Plus, critically acclaimed Japanese curry spot Suki has opened in the old home of Maharlika and more intel. Written by Tani Warakar on July 6, 2020. Restaurateurs. Restaurateurs are frazzled over last-minute changes to outdoor dining rules. NIC restaurants owners are expressing frustration over seemingly last-minute outdoor dining rule changes enacted by the city that are costing them thousands of dollars to make the adjustment. The New York Times reports. When outdoor dining got underway on June 22nd, owners worked quickly to be in compliance with the rules created by the city's transportation department, which included having barriers between outdoor seats and the street that were maximum of 5 feet apart. Last week, though, the transportation department added a new guidelines that required this barrier to be at least 18 inches thick, a requirement that wasn't initially specified. Some owners, including Ivy Mix and Julie Rayner of Renanda and the Clover Club, and Ori Kushner of East Village Sandwich Shop, Fox Face, say they've been slapped with the warnings from the city that their outdoor seats taken away if they weren't in compliance. They have since spent thousands trying to make fixes to their barriers. Other spots across the city have been forced to shutter uh, until they are in compliance, according to the Times. New York Post. Scientists warn WHO about airborne spread of coronavirus. Written by Yaron Steinbuch on July 6, 2020. More than 200 scientists are telling the World Health Organization that there's mounting evidence that the coronavirus can linger in the air in smaller particles and may be infectious in smaller quantities than previously thought, according to the report. The 239 scientists from 32 countries are urging the UN agency to take more seriously the possibility of airborne spread of the illness and are seeking to raise awareness about it and in an upcoming paper titled "It is Time to Address the Airborne Transmission of COVID-19," the Washington Post reported. World Health Organization. WHO, access to HIV medicines is severely impacted by COVID-19 as the AIDS response stalls. Countries seek innovative ways to mitigate the impact of disruption and keep services going. Uh, 6, July 6, 2020, news release. 73 countries have warned that they are at risk of stock outs of anti anti retroviral medicines as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, according to a new WHO survey conducted ahead of International AIDS Society biannual conference. 24 countries reported having either a critically low stock of ARVs or disruption in the supply of these life-saving medicine. Uh, Market Watch, the rating games. Tesla's stock soars toward record as Wall Street's biggest bear raises price target. July 6, 2020, written by Tommy Kilgore. Shares of Tesla Inc. charged higher toward another record Monday, after even the most bearish Wall Street analyst lifted his price target following the electric vehicle markers blowout deliveries results. Market Watch. Associated Press. Asian markets surge with the positive economic data outweighing coronavirus fears. Written by Associated Press. Asian stock market rose Monday as investors looked ahead for data they hope will support the optimism about the global economic recovery. CNN Business. Facebook and WhatsApp won't give Hong Kong authorities user data for now. Written by Hadass Gold, CNN Business on Monday, July 6, 2020. Facebook and its messaging service WhatsApp will stop processing requests for user data made by Hong Kong law enforcement authorities while they carry out an assessment of controversial security law imposed by China on the city. The social media platform said in statements on Monday that they would pause the review of information requests from the Hong Kong government pending further assessment of the impact of the national security law, including former human rights due diligence and consultation with the human rights experts. CBS News. China reports a case of suspected bubonic plague on July 6, 2020. While China appears to have reduced coronavirus cases to near zero, other infectious threats remain, with the local health authorities announcing a suspected bubonic plague case in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. Authorities in Bayernur district raised the plague warning on Sunday, ordered the residents not to hunt wild animals such as marmots and to send for treatment anyone with a fever or showing other possible signs of infection. Plague can be fatal in up to 90% of people infected if not treated, primarily with several types of antibiotics. Pneumonic plague can develop from bubonic plague and results in a severe lung infection, causing shortness, breath, headache, and coughing. CNBC Politics. Trump administration released a list of companies that received most money from small business bailout loans. The Trump administration on Monday disclosed the name of many small businesses which received uh, loans under a program intended to blunt the economic damage from the coronavirus pandemic. The disclosure comes amid the demands from Democrats for more transparency around the Paycheck Protection Program or PPP funds established as a part of the $2 trillion CARES Act, which President Donald Trump signed this spring. The New York Times, Hong Kong, changed overnight, navigates its new reality. In a city where China has made some ideas suddenly dangerous, people are trying to figure out where the boundaries lies and how their lives have changed. Written by Vivian Wang, Elaine Yu, and Tiffany May. A barge draped with an enormous red banner celebrating China's new security law was sailing across Hong Kong famed Victoria Harbor only hours after the legislation passed. The police now hoist a purple sign warning protesters that their chants could be criminal. Along the major roads throughout the city, neon-colored flags hailing a new era of stability and prosperity stand erect as soldiers. In recent days, as China took a victory lap over the law it is imposed on the Tuesday, the defiant masses who once filled Hong Kong's streets in protest have largely gone quiet. Sticky notes that had plastered the walls of pro-democracy business vanished, taken down by owners suddenly fearful of the words scribbled on them. Parents whispered about whether to stop their children from signing a popular protest song, while activists devised coded way to express a now dangerous idea.